a very auspicious day of Disappearance Day of Sri Govinda Ghosh. So we should dwell a little bit onto those great personalities' life, and then we will continue reading the Krishna book. Sri Govinda Ghosh, an intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya, was known for his sweet kirtan at the annual Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra festival. And Lord Chaitanya would at once begin to dance whenever Govinda Ghosh would sing. Govinda Ghosh and his brothers Vasudev and Madhav are eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityanand Prabhu. He made his home in Agradvip, Vasudev in Tamluk, and Madhava Ghosh in Dainhat. Govinda Ghosh Thakur's house is not far from Agradvip in Kasipura, Vishnutal. Some are of the opinion that Vaishnavatal was his birthplace. Govinda Ghosh participated in Mahaprabhu's Lila in Srivas Angan, where the Sankirtan movement started. We did other day the pastime at Srivas Angan when we glorify the appearance of Srivas Pandit. So Govinda Ghosh participated in Mahaprabhu Lila in Srivas Angan in the Nagar Sankirtan to the Qazi house and in the house of Raghava Pandit. During the Rath Yatra festival, he was the lead singer in the fourth Kirtan group, accompanied by his two brothers, Chota Haridas, Vishnudas, and Raghava Pandit. Vakreshwar Pandit joined this group as the principal dancer. As we know, the Vakreshwar Pandit Prabhu is also an exalted personality who installed the deity of Radha Kant at the Gambhira, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed his last 16 years, feeling completely in ecstasy, in separation from Krishna, in the mood of Radharani. So we offer our humble obeisances to all these great personalities. On Mahaprabhu's direction, Govinda Ghosh revealed the Gopinath deity from a black stone in Agradvip. Mahaprabhu also instructed him to get married. The story goes that Govinda Ghosh's wife and son both died untimely. As yesterday I was listening the class of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, that I may post it. It's a long but very nice. And he was saying that, what was the two words about the time, that we have no control over the time. Time can change everything, our situations. So two words it doesn't come into my mind, but it was related to time. That we have never expected the time to do certain things in our life, but it happened. So first word is not coming in my mind. Anyway, as Govinda Ghosh grew older, Govinda Ghosh began to wonder who would perform the last rites for him, as it is considered important for one to have a son who can do the Shraddha ceremony on his behalf. He had a dream in which Gopinath appeared to him and said, quote, "Don't worry about this thing. I will perform the Shraddha ceremony for you myself." Haribo. So when Govinda Ghosh finally passed away, Gopinath offered the Pinda on his behalf. And Gopinath continues to perform this ceremony every year on the anniversary of Govinda Ghosh's departure from this world, which is today. These take place on the Krishna Trayodasi of the month of Chaitra. Vasudev Ghosh's disappearance day is on the second day of the waxing moon in the month of Kartik. So we pray at the divine lotus feet of Govinda Ghosh, exalted personality, to bestow his kind mercy upon all of us so we can remain steadfast in our devotional practice. With their blessings only, we can maintain our determination and enthusiasm, which is extremely important in our devotional practice. Anytime when we reach certain goal, whatever the practices we attain, we should make sure that we should never fall from below that stage. We should always be careful not to reduce our enthusiasm or our steadfastness in the devotional practice if we are sincere to become free from this nuisance of this material existence. Our Acharya has shown the steadfastness, and they remain fixed and they remain determined. They give topmost priority for chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and make our soul deliver from the engagement of this material body. So we will be reading the chapter 45th, Krishna's book, Uddhava visits Vrindavan. Krishna is so kind, he makes so perfect arrangement. He is the well-wisher of everyone. Even sometime something happen which is unpleasant to us, we should see that that's Krishna's mercy, that he wants us to wake up from this Mayadevi, influence of Mayadevi. It was a very good, I think I will post that class. It's long, but I think it's very instructive and enlivening for us who is bound in the three modes of material nature. So let's get to the Uddhava visit Vrindavan. Nand Maharaj returned to Vrindavan without Krishna and Balaram. He was accompanied only by the cowherd boys and men. It was certainly a very pathetic scene for the gopis, Mother Yasoda, Srimati Radharani, and all the inhabitants and residents of Vrindavan. Many devotees have tried to make adjustment to Krishna's being away from Vrindavan, because according to the expert opinion, Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, never goes even a step out of Vrindavan. He always remains there. The explanation of expert devotee is that Krishna was actually not absent from Vrindavan. He came back with Nand Maharaj as promised. When he was going to Mathura on the chariot driven by Akrura, and the gopis were practically blocking the way, they were just lying down their body in front of the chariot wheel, ready to give up their life. What a dedication. They can't live without Krishna. Krishna assured them at that time that he was going to come back just after finishing his business in Mathura. And he told them not to be overwhelmed. And in this way, he pacified them. But when he did not come back with Nand Maharaj, it appeared that he either cheated them or could not keep his promise. So the expert devotees, however, have decided that Krishna was neither a cheater nor a breaker of promise. How is it possible? So Krishna, in his original identity, returned with Nand Maharaj and stayed with the gopis and Mother Yashoda in his bhav expansion. Krishna and Balram remain in Mathura, not in their original form, but in their expansion as Vasudeva and Sankirtan. The real Krishna and Balram were in Vrindavan in their bhav manifestation. Whereas in Mathura, they appeared in the Prabhav and Vaibhava expansions. This is the expert opinion of advanced devotee of Krishna. But when Nanda Maharaj was preparing to return to Vrindavan, there was a discussion among him, Krishna and Balram, as to how the boys could live in separation from Nanda. The conclusion to separate was reached by mutual agreement. Haribol. Vasudeva and Devaki happened to be Krishna and Balram's real parents. They wanted to keep them now because of the death of Kamsa. There is no fear now. While Kamsa was alive, they were kept under the protections of Nand Maharaj in Vrindavan. Now, naturally, the father and mother of Krishna and Balram wanted them to remain with them, specifically for the reformatory function of purification, the sacred thread ceremony. They also wanted to give them a proper education, for this is the duty of the father. We see the other day in 64 days, how many talents they learned. Every single day they must have learned about 5 or 6. Another consideration was that all the friends of Kamsa outside Mathura were planning to attack Mathura. This is the mentality of the demoniac people. For that reason also, Krishna's presence was required. Krishna did not want Vrindavan to be disturbed by enemies like Dantavakra and Jarasandha. If Krishna were to go to Vrindavan, these enemies would not only attack Mathura, but would go on to Vrindavan also. And the peaceful inhabitants of Vrindavan would be disturbed. Krishna thinks everything benefit of his devotees. Krishna always keeps his devotees in his heart. Very difficult for Krishna to give up his devotees. Therefore, he decided to remain in Mathura, and Nand Maharaj went back to Vrindavan. Although the inhabitants of Vrindavan were feeling separation from Krishna, Krishna was always present with them by his lila or pastimes, and this made them aesthetic. Since Krishna has departed from Vrindavan to Mathura, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, especially Mother Yashoda, Nand Maharaj, Srimati Radharani, and the gopis and the cowherd boys, were simply thinking of Krishna at every step. They were thinking as follows. Krishna was playing in this way. Krishna was blowing his flute. Krishna was joking with us. And Krishna was embracing us. This is called Leela Smara. And we need to practice. We should be able to see all these wonderful pastimes. We should increase our inventory day by day by meditating on very specific pastimes in detail. We're seeing that expression on the face of the gopis, how they move their eyebrows, how they see the things, we should meditate. And it is the process of associating with Krishna most recommended by the great devotees. Even Lord Chaitanya enjoyed Lila Smaran, association of Krishna, when he was at Puri. So those who are in the most exalted position of devotional service and ecstasy can live with Krishna always by remembering his pastimes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given us a transcendental literature entitled Krishna Bhavana Amruta, which is full with Krishna's pastimes. Devotees can remain absorbed in Krishna thought by reading such books. Any book of Krishna Lila, even this book Krishna, and our teaching of Lord Chaitanya is actually solace for devotees who are feeling their separation from Krishna. Hari Bol, how come I forgot to play a wonderful flute? Always give us the presence of Krishna by listening his flute. Hari Bol. That Krishna and Balram did not come to Vrindavan can be adjusted as also follow. They did not break their promise to return to Vrindavan, nor they were absent, but their presence was necessary in Mathura. In the meantime, Uddhava, a cousin brother of Krishna, came to see Krishna from Dwarka. He is the most close associates of Krishna in Dwarka Lila. And Krishna want him to go deeper into the ras of the Brajavasis. So actually it was not that he would just want to deliver the message to the gopis and the Brajavasis, but he want to see his cousins, to see how much intense feeling the Brajavasis have for Krishna. And he can learn from that. So in the meantime, Uddhava, a cousin brother of Krishna, came to see Krishna from Dwarka. He was the son of Vasudev's brother and was almost the same age as Krishna. And also his bodily feature resembled Krishna's almost exactly. If they stand side by side, it's very difficult unless we really meditate. And this is another exercise we should do. All these prominent gopas, whatever the ras we have, or the sakhis, gopis, we should know what color of clothes they wear, how they decorate the body. So when we go to the spiritual world, we don't have to ask anybody. By just looking at their saris or the turbans and the dress of the gopas, we should be able to recognize this is wow, this is Sridham, this is Madhumangal, or this is Srimati Radharani, or this is Vishanka Devi or Lalita Devi. Everybody has specific, and they maintain their wonderful to recognize them. So Uddhava was looking exactly like Krishna, and after returning from his teacher's home, Krishna was pleased to see Uddhava, who happened to be his dearmost friend in Dwarka. He wanted to send him to Vrindavan with a message to the residents to pacify their deep feeling of separation. But the reason is totally different. Inner. There is always, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appears, there are some external reason, and there are some internal, intimate reasons for that appearance. So in all activities of Krishna, there is some external reason, there are some internal. Krishna wants to reciprocate with his devotees in a nice, loving way. That's Krishna. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Ye athamam prapadyante, Krishna is very responsive. He responds in proportion to the devotee's advancement in devotional service. But one thing in that verse, same verse, it says that Ye athamam prapadyante, tam tatami brajami aham. Mama vartanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. Every living being is following his path, willingly or unwillingly. So we have been controlled at every step in our life. So why can't we just voluntarily surrender to Krishna? Then we will see how he will become so kind to us. Everything will be removed from our miserable life, and we can really relish the happiness of Vrindavan, even though we are living in this material world. Our Acharya has exhibited those symptoms. The gopis were thinking of Krishna in separation 24 hours a day. And this is how they remember, how they associate with Krishna. Krishna was also always thinking of the gopis, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, and the residents of Vrindavan. Although he appeared to be away from them, he could understand how they were transcendentally aggrieved, and so he immediately wanted to send Uddhava to give them a message of solace. Haribol. Uddhava is described as the most exalted personality in the Vrishni dynasty, almost equal to Krishna. He was a great friend, and on account of being the direct student of Bruhspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, the teacher and the priest of the heavenly planets, he was very intelligent and sharp in decision. From the intellectual standpoint, he was highly qualified. Krishna, being a very loving friend of Uddhava, wanted to send him to Vrindavan just to study the highly elevated aesthetic devotional service practiced there. Even if one is highly elevated in material education and is even the disciple of Bruhspati, he still has to learn from the gopis and the residents of Vrindavan. And what should we learn from them? How to love Krishna to the highest degree. So sending Uddhava to Vrindavan with a message to the residents of Vrindavan to pacify them was Krishna's special favor to his dearmost friend, Uddhava. So with those thoughts, we should stop here. We should be punctual in our work services. Some of the devotees may have the duty to other duties to perform. So with those thoughts, try to remember those wonderful exchanges between Krishna and his dearmost other friends and the gopas and the gopis. Always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless. There is no fear should be in our life. Krishna is our main protector. He is the maintainer, and he takes care of his devotees more than necessarily required. So in that peaceful mode only we will be able to maintain our enthusiasms and determinations to follow on the path. And we can see the result. We don't have to, like our Acharya, never give us the post-dated check like the scientist does. So we should have a full conviction on this process. And whoever sincerely practice it, they can realize very soon that this is the most wonderful thing that we can do in our life. Our soul will become jubilant. So, with those thoughts, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the dusk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who take so much austerity to wake up early in the morning, which is not that easy until we reduce our eating and sleeping. What is the hope of deliverance of our soul? But these great devotees are determined, and I see they are joining earlier and earlier every day. That shows their enthusiasms and determinations. So I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the dusk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis lotus feet, who joined from Connecticut, New Hampshire, Aurora, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Carbondale, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Phoenix, Tempe, Austin, College Station, San Jose, Portland, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Baltimore, Baton Rouge, Alachua, Orlando, Jacksonville, Ohio, St. Louis, Loganville, Georgia, San Diego, Alaska, Maine, Ottawa, New Orleans, Laguna Beach, Vancouver, Toronto, Kolkata, New Delhi. Sometime from Jammu and Kashmir. Mataji has not joined for a while. They are busy with their studies, but those students, they stay in touch with me constantly and always inquire about the welfare, what they're supposed to do. Very nice devotees. And also, how can I forget the devotees? About 80 devotees joined from Houston and Fresno. All glories to their practices. So, whoever can remain, we have another 1 hour and 3 minutes for each other association by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, thank you very much, those souls who can extend their association if it's possible. It's nice to have your association. So let's chant the Hare Krishna Mantra. I will also